Hey, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the host of Wifey and Baby Mama. Happy Thursday, family. Happy Thursday, baby mama. Welcome to week 7, everybody. Man, I can't believe we're halfway through
Yes.
the season, Shannon. Oh my
I
God.
know.
Like time isn't
Unbelievable.
waiting for anyone. And since time is not waiting, it's no use in us keeping you waiting. We have the hookup for y'all tonight, okay? And from the
Oh
range of
my
my voice, our faithfuls probably already figured out we have a guest joining us tonight, y'all. We're going to
God.
talk about the
Yeah.
importance of time and how time is
Mm.
waiting, and how time not waiting is a real thing. Time is imperative to tonight's topic titled When It Hurts More to Stay. And I'm going to say that one more time. When it hurts more to stay. And I think as reasonable adults, we can all safely assess where this is going tonight, right? But if you had
We
a long
can.
day and you need me to break it down, I got you. Tonight, we're going to discuss what to do when love and respect is no longer being served in a relationship. And here to help us do that is the entrepreneur guru herself, the GOAT and getting to it, okay? The founder and CEO of Raising a Mongol, a legacy brand publishing, the newest member of the administrative team of the Foundry here in Buffalo, New York. New York. Now, y'all got it all right. And that's all before 6 a.m. on most days, okay?
Yes.
Not to mention the mom. She's a grandma,
There
fiance,
you
wife,
go.
boo, all of that. Top it
All
off.
of that.
Returning to wifey and baby mama for the second time is my friend and my bestie boo since high school, Mrs. Tamara Zantell.
Love it, love it, love it. Welcome back.
What an introduction. Thank you. Thank you. Back. Let's get to it. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Hey.
see, the last time you were on here, you guys had the floor and I couldn't do my thing. So this time I got to properly introduce my friend.
I know
Shannon,
that.
we are lucky girl.
Mhm.
This girl, did you hear
Yes,
all those
we
titles,
are.
Shannon?
Yes, we are.
But yet
Yes,
she
we
found the
are.
time. She found the
Hmm.
time to slide us in. So it's gonna be good tonight, y'all. So Shannon, you ready, baby?
I'm ready.
You
Let's
ready,
do
T?
this.
Here for it.
All right, listeners, hang on. We got a good one for you tonight. Get y'all popcorn, y'all blessed oil, your wine, whatever y'all need, okay? Because we're going to give y'all something to talk about and think about tonight. And I'll go ahead and warn you, we're not going to get to our other two segments tonight, and we're going to apologize in advance. But I think what we have to say and what we have to discuss here is us panel of powerful business women who've had our share of heartbreaks.
Mm.
You're gonna want to hear it. We can try and save some of these young ladies, men, old ladies and men, because sometimes we don't learn, i.e., me, until we get a little older, right? The proper way to be loved. So hopefully, what we say here tonight can help someone out. So Shannon, I think the last time we had Tamara on, we discussed how real friends don't talk every day.
Yep.
You and I don't talk any day. We just had that little chat before Tamara jumped on. Like it's been a minute. Like, and we used to
Mm-hmm.
talk every day,
Mm-hmm.
but life gets to life, and sometimes. So
Life gets to life, and yes.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about our topic for this weekend. When it hurts more to stay. And then I just, as soon as I'm done praying, y'all, because I do pray, Shannon, I know that you do too. We seek counsel. Hey, give us the right words to say. As soon as I was done with my prayer, like yesterday, because I have to get myself in the mood, right, to make sure we delivering the proper thing. I get on Facebook and I open up this post, and I said, God, you be hooking your girl up, like you be seriously
Mm-hmm.
doing instant hookups. So I just shot my girl a line, like, what you doing tomorrow at 7:30?
Let's
And
talk.
she's like, I got this, and that, but I got you. And I'm like, see what I'm talking about? So we don't talk
See?
daily, we don't talk weekly,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even
Mm-hmm.
monthly, Shannon. And it's the same for us, like I just said. But it's
Yep.
important to understand grown women type time. We shake in different directions, but when it's time, it's time. So tomorrow I've did enough. I know. We all know when we need each other, we're here. So it's whatever. Now
Absolutely.
y'all know I love to talk, but it won't be me tonight. We're gonna give the floor to the entrepreneur guru herself, and Shannon and I gonna sit back and enjoy this and kick in
It,
and get in where we fit in tonight. So, T, why don't you tell the people the post that sparked the range of responses there on Facebook and share those points with us?
Yes, the fire. So, to give you a little bit of background. So,
Yes, ma'am.
when I share parts of the post, y'all are gonna get a lot of my, the ins and outs of my, y'all gonna hurt my business, right? However, you need to know where it came from. It came from me. You've already mentioned, Sean, about praying. Like that's my morning meditation and prayer time. And what this is a new habit or ritual or routine, whatever words you say, what resonates with you, that I've been doing um, for about 3 years now. It helps to center me. It helps for me to reflect. I've always been a really super hyper cut type person, jump from thing to thing, that
You
whole
don't say.
kicking in, it's like I thrive in chaos, right? So I've never really, up until recently, and this since I started doing the work, right? I feel like I'm just always on the go. So I'm like, I needed to create a space in my life where I can sit still and just be, right? Experience, be present, reflect, and think through. Because a lot of times when we don't do that, we miss time. We skip out on time. Not all of us, remember everything like you, Sean, where you can, write a book about your whole life. I'd be like, girl, my book would be like 3 paragraphs because I can't remember. But I'm just saying. So the morning meditation and prayer time is where I sit with me, and that's when I have
Hmm.
an opportunity. I get these downloads, I have time with God, I have time with myself. I can just kind of get a feel for how I'm feeling, what's missing, what do I need today, Lord? How do I feel today, Lord? And when I was doing my meditation this week, this post came to me, this topic of worthiness, this topic of abundance, and really tapping into this delicious um, manifestation of whatever it is that you want, and how we often as women, we miss out on that, or we for some reason don't think we're worthy of it, we deserve it, or we can ask for it, right? Because society tells us you take what you can get, specifically as a
That's
Black
right.
woman, like you take what you can get, right? Your job is this. We're usually living and surviving in a space of moving, excuse me, in a space of survival, as opposed to that thriving, space. So I have moved out of that. And as I reflect on where I was and what I've been through, this post was just kind of like, it just happened. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
we,
no, well, let me tell you, it didn't just happen. It was divinely sent
yes,
because this topic, was already, Shannon, we do our topics at the beginning of the season,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
woo.
It's just we did these topics before we started the season.
Mhm.
So
That's
this week
right.
and that post was just divinely put together. So go ahead. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't just happen, but go ahead.
Chills, I'm clear. I'm clear. So it starts with I do these typical just a thought, right? And that's a gentle way of saying, this is my feelings. Like this is just a thought I'm having that I want to share with you, whoever you are that's reading this. And I kind of titled it When You Know You Know, when it's time to walk away. And I talk about the fact that I've been married twice, divorced twice. So when I say I know what it's like to be with a man who doesn't feel good about himself while I'm out here killing it, thriving, like, right? Because that is a big problem. Even recently, with interactions and relationships, it's really hard. It's not easy to exist in a space with someone that you want to be in relationship with when you're not equally yoked, or you're not in the same page, or when you have done the
Absolutely.
work and that other person is still like limping along trying to figure it out, right? So it's
Hmm.
like, just to be clear, we're all evolving. So we all have work to do, but we all have different lanes of that work. And that work, sometimes if we're not in alignment, we can just really like be shooting shots and just be missing. Right. So,
Absolutely.
when you're a woman that's strong and evolving and we're open to abundance and we're like really working on ourselves and trying to manifest our best self, and your partner, right, is still stuck, I believe that the relationship will never make it in that moment. Something has to shift, so
Absolutely.
this is where we get the whole, sometimes it hurts more, to
To
stay.
stay. Oh my God. I'm telling you, you don't know how perfectly these topics align. Absolutely. I totally agree. What about you, Shannon? Have you ever had
Yeah.
a situation when the partner stagnant and mad at you for moving?
Um, oh yeah, I've been there, but there have been different reasons. So, um, or different stages in their lives and different stages in mine. So I'm curious to know, when you say they're not moving or they're not stagnant. What are your expectations of them? Are they realistic to the person that you know, or are you trying to make them into something? Sometimes you meet a dud and that's a dud.
Mhm.
That's a
But you want to
fact.
be with them anyway.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then you
fact.
try to make them into something that they're not. But are you coming into something where you seem to be on the same page initially, and it just goes awry? I'm curious there.
Yeah, I love that.
Now,
I
go
go ahead.
ahead. Yep, I was going to tell her. I do too. No, you answer, T.
No, I was going to say, I think that's an excellent question, right? So I think it depends. The answer is it depends. It depends on when y'all meet. It depends on where you are in your journey, where the partner is in their journey, right? So sometimes it might not, we all know a little bit about this. It might not be right now, right? But 10 years from now, we might be the perfect match, right? So I think
Oh, wow.
that's right. So I think that's why these conversations are so important. And that's one of the reasons why I
Yeah,
wrote this and I
yeah,
put it out into the ecosystem, because I'm like, we need to have these conversations. Just because I want love and I'm ready to build and I'm ready to grow, it doesn't mean that my partner is. It doesn't mean that he necessarily is. He could be upset because he lost his job. He could be upset because, or he could still be dealing with issues or whatever fallout from, his daddy or his mama, right? Whereas I've already dealt with those things. So if I've already dealt
Well,
with them and he's struggling through them,
you're going to be in two different places in your life.
right?
yeah.
Especially,
And let me
go ahead.
Do you
go
have
ahead.
grace? Is there grace? Where?
That's a great question, and that's what I was going to say. Especially if
Mm,
the he, if the partner, if he's not willing to be open to the idea of change or evolution. So we could all probably think of a place in our life, a time in our life when we were like, this is it, take me or leave me. Like, this is who I am because I am. And then we can look back 2, 3, 5, 10 years and be like, I was straight tripping. Like, I really thought
yep, yep,
I was doing something. I thought I knew it all. And Lord have mercy. Now here I am.
yep.
Well,
So sorry.
well, let me try and give a prime example, Shannon, of what you say. Do you give grace, or and what you said too, T, to tie both of your points together. My ex-husband was actually going through when we both worked at the prison. The boy could have probably ran that prison as a warden with his eyes closed. He was a captain at the time. They were so intimidated by his strongness, by his knowledge and his skill, that they just pounded him until he didn't have a job anymore. Because one day he went in there and snapped and was like, I'll kill everybody in here. I'm like, okay. And they walked him out. But I kept telling him, I said, they're going to bait you up. And so he lost his job. We opened the restaurant, which was another divine thing, made way more money anyways than punching the clock. But anyways, I was okay with that. Like when he lost his job, I supported him. Like, you know what? We'll pull for my 401k. My dad got in. He's like, I'll help y'all. What y'all need? We got the restaurant, got the building. We were doing our thing. But now guess what happens? Now I start to get promoted. I'm starting to go up. He starts to resent me. Even though we're killing it, we're making money hand over fist in that restaurant. It's not the financial part. It's like, wait a minute, they fired me and you're going up. So he started to
Yeah,
resent me because I promoted like twice since he lost his job, right? And I noticed that was another thing that got in between us besides, my obsession with Jimmy. But anyways, that's what, we had friction. And one day I came home, he was gone, like you guys know the story. But now, in who I am right now, writing the book, doing the movie, he supports me and Jimmy like no other because now he's healed. He's remarried.
yeah.
He's in his space.
Wow.
So sometimes I said all that to say this. Sometimes it's good to give grace because that wasn't who he was. That's who he was in the moment with all his damage, with all his heartache. That's why it didn't work for us right then.
I love
So
that.
he wasn't a hater, or what'd you say? T? He wasn't a dud. He
Right.
was just a damaged person at the time. So
And that's the thing at the time. That is a great example. I have a similar situation with me and my Jimmy. I got a Jimmy too. I remember
mhm.
he was living overseas for a while. This was after our divorce. We literally could not stand each other, didn't talk forever, whole nother episode, right? But we had to share these kids, 5 kids, right? So we're sharing these 5 kids. So we did talk, obviously, but it wasn't that great, but whatever. He was over there killing it, top of his game, making a ton of money, like golfing, women, all the things. And then he came back to the States. He was in Barbados, came back to the States. The job he came back for like they laid him off. It just didn't work out. So he needed a place. He came and stayed with me and my kids and my ways and my independence and my glory and my amazingness. And it was like, what? He couldn't understand it. It was literally so hard for him to manage while watching me thrive and literally kill it every day. And for him to say, I need help. Like, I watched him gain weight. He sat on the couch. We couldn't communicate. He couldn't articulate what was.
My ex-husband did too.
It was
Yep.
just a hot mess. And I could not get through to him because he wasn't ready. There was no transparency. There was no vulnerability. It was just anger. And I was like, you know what? In this moment, I have a choice. I have to save myself and my
Mhm.
kids. I can, lean into this hot mess, or I can just allow you to do what you want to do and give you time to figure it out and continue to row my boat. So I rowed my boat all the way to higher heights. And once he figured it out, he came back, and now we're back to like, okay, maybe I'll see you on Friday. But he swaggers back. He figured it out, but I couldn't fix it for him. And I think that's the thing.
That's right.
I gave him grace. I didn't shame him. I didn't dishonor him. I didn't make him feel bad about himself. I didn't talk down to him about him to his children. He was still who he was to all of us, but he just needed time to figure it out.
To see it for himself.
Yes.
But here's the thing though. You didn't allow him to minimize you.
No, ma'am.
And that's what we got. So women, that is a key point here. And men, because we try to give advice because it's women the same way in the world, T. I mean, it's women, the men are out here doing their thing, and the women, oh, just you going to work. I'm stuck here raising the kids. Listen, we are all grown A people responsible for ourselves.
Right.
We have to take care of ourselves. Now, of course, as partners, husbands, wife, we're responsible for each other. Don't get me wrong, encourage and lifting up. But when it comes to getting to that finish line, no one can pick you up and carry. You have to run on your own 2 feet.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you do. And having partners, on both sides though, that are encouraging. When you're married, your partner might have a dream that you might say, "Oh, that's stupid." But do you say that? You kind of, unless it really is, you might say,
Yeah.
okay, go for it or whatever. If it is a little bit obtainable, you say, okay, well, go for it. And then after a while, they give up on it and they walk away from it. And at least you showed some support. Because,
that's right.
Yeah, you showed some support, and you want the same for you. When you're in a situation where you're doing something that might seem like Sean, you can even talk about, writing your book or the series.
How we were supposed to be rich from me writing that book, and I convinced my whole family to give me all their money, and we still ain't got no money. And I done started 3 more businesses with the money I did make, and we still ain't got no money. Yeah,
but
that
that's
part.
all right. Your husband, Jimmy supported that, but you got the support, and it's all going to be good in the end. So you
Absolutely.
do want to make sure you're encouraging your partner and that they're encouraging you, and you don't want to be in a situation where all your dreams, thoughts and dreams are shot down. Every time you open your mouth, they're like, oh, you're stupid, or you're this, or you're that. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Now I will say he does say, very strategically and supportively, what now? What you doing now? Oh, okay. So how much that cost? Oh, that's gonna make you a lot of money. Oh, okay. And I know he's being sarcastic, but he never not says, no, we ain't doing that. Like this ain't made no money yet. He never says that.
But that means he's all in. He's giving you space. He's giving you grace, and he already knows what you're capable of. So when you're equally
Absolutely.
partner and you've proven yourself, or they really believe in you, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. So we say believe in someone. We all start with this like base level of belief and love and care for someone. But then if someone just starts going awry and just being, just reckless and wild, and here we are 10 years in and it's never worked out, it's like, hold on, dude. Like, right? So this is what the post was a lot about, is like, you have to save yourself. You can't just go down with the ship for the sake of love. You have an option. We get to choose. You have to decide. right? So do you just burn it all down for the sake of love or for somebody else? Or do you back away, continue to shine and live within your truth if you know it, and maybe it'll work out later. Maybe we can circle the block. I don't know.
That's right.
Right? So I talked about these 7 things in the post, and I said,
Yes, and I want you to run through those. Start with one, and we'll do a little bit because I do want to get through all 7 of those because they were wonderful.
yeah.
So go ahead.
I positioned the 7 things. First, I just wanted women to know that, these are the 7 things that I was thinking of in that moment that I want them to be ready to activate in a second. Like, this is, as soon as your instinct, you get that feeling in your gut, and we all get that intuition. We all have that down.
Mhm.
We're like, you know what? This ain't it. This right here. This might not be it, right? We have it, but we ignore it a lot of the time, right? So
Mhm.
feel it deep in your gut that this is not working and he's not the right one, and maybe I'm being held back, or maybe he's tripping, or maybe it's not me, right? Because we're taught to think that a lot of the time we're the problem. So we have to fix not only our problem, but everybody else's problem around us. We have to be ready to make a move. So I
That's
also
right.
position this so that it's for the men to know about us as strong women, right? So the first one is her independence, your independence. I want people to know that she doesn't need you. I don't need you, but I want you, right? So
Absolutely.
we have to first believe it. We have to shift our mindset here to realize that it might feel like a real need, but when it comes down to my well-being, my lifeline, this is just a desire. Like, I
It's a
want,
want.
but I can
Mhm.
survive without you, right? And if a man can't meet you halfway, you have to understand that I'm going to keep it moving. We're not.
Yeah, and this is a topic that I would love to have a man on eventually, because I ran into this with my husband where, I'm independent. We married late in life or whatever.
Mhm.
And that is so threatening to them because they want you to
To be
need
dependent.
them
Yeah,
and to
Mhm.
be dependent, and to have them, accept that you just want them, you love them, and you want them no matter what. It's like, how do you overcome that? So this is a this point right here was one that when I saw this one, I was like, oh my God, this is going to hit a lot of people, because there are so many women that they don't need the financial, they don't need anyone to pay their bills, they don't need anybody to or man, I'm sorry, they don't need the man for that reason. They just want him because they want him, they love him, they adore him, and men find that hard to accept.
absolutely. Because that's what they've been trained to think as a provider.
Yeah,
If I'm not
yeah.
providing, meaning more than you, then I'm insignificant. I'm
Hmm.
not worthy. And that's the work that
Right.
he has to do, right? Because
Yeah.
if I do need you and I also want you, it's like I need you to keep me safe. I'm expecting you to provide these things for me, right? To treat me like a gentleman, to make me feel beautiful, to make me feel sexy, right? There's all these things that I might need from you, or better yet, want from you, but it might not just be the financial piece. It might not
Right.
just
That's right.
you moved into my house, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
where the conversations need to have, where he understands and she's confident enough to explain to him and articulate that, I want to build a life with you, but I want someone that's equally committed the way I'm committed, right? And that commitment doesn't end
Absolutely.
with a dollar amount, or who has more money in their bank account. I can still love you the same way if you make less than money than me. But that's usually the
Right.
man,
Absolutely.
that's the hang up because of what most men have been taught.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
before we move on to point number 2, I agree with Shannon. We would love to have some male opinions. So if we have any male listeners on tonight that can give us a male side of this, please feel free to jump in and email us at wifeyandbabymama@gmail.com. That's wifeyandbabymama@gmail.com on any of these points. And that's for females as well. But again, we would love to have some male sides to this. And we can maybe come back another show, Shannon, and read the male opinion to these points. But I would love to hear your side. And since we only have a female guest tonight, guys, that's your way to jump in at wifeyandbabymama@gmail.com. Ladies, do you have anything else on one before we jump to 2?
No, I think we covered it. Her
No, we
You,
don't have
you,
anything, but I'm sure we won't get to all seven. So it sounds like we're gonna have a part two of this. But keep going.
no, she can read them. She can read them off. Okay, read them off, and then we can talk about them as a whole because I really want the women to get all 7 points. So,
Okay,
T, if you would
I'll do
please
it.
read them off
So
for
number
me, and then we'll discuss them in a whole.
Okay, got it. I got you. Okay, so number 2 is her confidence. She walks into every room knowing she belongs there. If her shine makes you uncomfortable, that's not her problem. A powerful woman doesn't shrink to fit into anyone's box. Number 3, her ability to speak her mind. She's not going to hold her tongue. Sorry. When she sees
Mhm.
that needs to be said, she says it directly and with love. That's the key, with love. It's not about tearing you down, it's about being real. She wants to grow with you, not around you. Number 4, her success. She's out here making moves, and if you're threatened by her success, that's on you. Her drive doesn't diminish yours. If anything, it should inspire you to do more, be more, and match her energy. Number 5, her standards. Sis knows exactly what she wants. She's not lowering her standards to make anyone feel comfortable. You either step up or you step aside. Number 6, her emotional intelligence. She's done the work. She's not afraid of deep conversations or uncomfortable truths. Those tough talks, she's here for them. Not to poke or agonize, but to understand and to grow together. And finally, number 7, her power to walk away. This is where the rubber meets the road. So important. She knows her worth. And if you don't align with her values, her vision, or her vibe, she will walk away without hesitation, without regret, and without looking back. She's not afraid to choose herself over anything that doesn't serve her.
Boop, boop, bam. Now that we got all 7, Shannon, we can go back and just touch on a few of them. Number 2, her confidence. She walks in every room knowing she belongs there. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this again: if anyone wants to minimize you so they can feel big, they got bigger problems. Red flag in my best country Wayne voice. Get gone. Okay, get gone immediately. So, Shannon, that was one that stuck out to me. Did any of them stick out to you?
For me, I speak my mind when it comes to relationships, and that's been, in my marriage. I can speak honestly, with me and my husband, he gets on me all the time about, he's like, why can't you just, agree? Why do you have to always challenge me? Why do you always, because I will speak my mind. And I tell him all the time, it's not, I'm not throwing a challenge out. I'm just saying what I'm saying. And if you disagree, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to disagree.
It's all
And
right. What
and
is it? You
most
agree to
men,
disagree.
you agree to disagree, but most men, or at least I found this,
Yeah.
in my lifetime, and I'm old, most men don't understand that concept. If you disagree, that means it's over. It's end of the road. It's this and
That's
that,
it.
or you hate me, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you guys take it so far. You want to call us sensitive, and you want to call us all these things. Just because we're not agreeing with you, just say, okay, baby, I don't see it that way, or try to understand it. If you don't get it or whatever, I don't care what the subject is. If you don't feel it, if you don't get it, it's okay to
Uh,
not agree on every single point in your life and in your marriage and in your relationship. It's
But
okay.
let's just say this:
Let
you
me
don't
speak my mind.
as that's right, and as a man, you don't have to always be right. I
Right.
mean,
You don't.
that
Mm-hmm.
some of them take the head of the household serious, don't they? They take that
I
head.
know.
It's okay for us to have opinions, but I want to say this, Tamara. Those are some excellent points. One, two, three, four,
They
five, and
are.
6. Then we get
They
to
are.
7. Her power to walk away. This is where the rubber
Mm,
meets the road. Let
yeah.
me tell you, by the time we get to 7, this is after she's done 1 through 6 for years.
Yeah.
We don't just
Yeah.
up and walk away. Okay. So by
Right.
the time we
Right.
get to 7, understand you're pretty much done because we've done 1 through 6 for too long. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I know I've said it
Yeah.
before. My self-respect, besides my self-respect, health, the safety of my kids, I'll do most anything to make my marriages work. I promise you I will. I mean, I really ain't with starting over, y'all. Hide my stretch marks, waiting to wrap my hair till you leave because my favorite scarf done seen better days. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Most importantly,
but the
when you have children, I don't like disturbing the stability of my kids. I mean,
Right. Right.
I know as women, we give it all we got before we do number 7, okay? But you got to realize when it hurts more to stay, it
people,
causes more damage, people.
yes,
So when y'all see me divorced, when y'all see me single, I mean, it can happen at any time. Please know that I did all I could.
yeah, but here,
But I
Yeah. Yeah.
promise you, I don't play with my peace. I don't do that anymore.
yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
But the other thing I
Exactly. And when you're hurting your kids, you got
that,
to remember
that
That's
the
that's right
children.
there. When it hurts more to stay, because that staying is
hmm
stunting growth. Not only is it stunting
Yeah.
my growth, because I can't be all I know I'm meant to be if I'm over here
Mm.
coddling you or I'm up under your black cloud of whatever you're trying to work through that you ain't dealt with that you need to talk to somebody about. Probably there,
girl.
right? And then I'm also stunting you because I'm enabling you. I'm allowing you
Right.
Absolutely.
that this nonsense or this dysfunction is okay in a marriage or in a relationship. So as soon as I leave, you're allowed to be like, wait a minute, I'm alone.
Mm.
What do I need to do to be in a healthy? You start to think about it a little bit different. The man does, right? The
Right.
person that
Because I was about to say, not always the men, because some of these women toxic as heck too. So
whoever,
Oh,
whoever,
let's just
that's
say the
true.
person.
That's true.
Let's just say the person. Because I'm gonna tell you something.
you're right.
Once we've made that mental exit, partner, you done. Now you're just starting, right? But we've been doing it for years. We've been unwinding for years, buddy. We out of here.
Right.
So people
Mhm.
will say, "Man, she moved on quick. Man, she got married last. They just got divorced last month." No, I
Mhm.
got divorced 6 years ago. I
This
just stayed for my kids. I just stayed for my kids.
absolutely.
Right.
That's the other
Right.
thing with kids. And that's exactly what Shannon just said. It's like when the hurting, more damage being done, when it hurts more to stay, it's like we think about, as the women specifically, we're thinking about our children. We're thinking about the
Yeah.
family, the well-being, their mental health, how they're gonna get. It's like we need to just go ahead and nip this in the bud so we can all start to heal.
It's a fact.
And
And if that means
I'll
moving
catch
on,
the rerun, right?
pack your bags, people.
And listen, Claire, it's easier said than done, but it
I know.
can be
Oh,
done. It
trust.
can be done, and it can be glorious at the end. I think sometimes when we're stuck in the mess, it's like, oh, the feelings. I'm gonna be alone. What will people say? What the judgment, the shame, all the stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
will grow through it. You
Mm-hmm.
will pray through it. You will excel through it. And then 5 years later, 6 months later, you'll be like, this was the hardest damn thing I've ever done, but it was the best thing I could have ever done. Right? So you have
Absolutely.
to believe us when we say you gotta move. You gotta decide, and then you get to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You really
So
do.
I wanted to just make that real point real quick. I'm telling you before we get to 7, y'all. 1 through 6 has been done repeatedly. So anything else y'all want to say before I wrap up? I need
Now,
y'all to take that home tonight.
yeah, you do.
Because the passion in our voices is like coming through. I'm over here with my hands like, no,
But we, of course, there's always the opposing opinion, and we will have a flip side to this because I'm sure we do have those friends
no.
that have these marriages or these relationships that they walk away for trivial reasons. Like I have a girlfriend that walked away because her husband just wasn't fun. you know it's like you have a good life, you have a provider, you have all these things, and you're like, oh no, I have to go out and I have to do all these dance parties and whatever what after 10 years of marriage. So but that's another time, another day.
That makes me
But tonight.
what else was festering? It's like, is it just,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of questions.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So but that's all I have.
All right. What about you, T?
Are we wrapping up?
If you're
Yes.
done, no, we want to hear your last points. If you have the last points, we were. She's like, no, I want to talk more.
No, seriously, I really think, I'm challenging people to think about this from all sides. Like with Shannon, what you just said, I do think that there are some people that leave for trivial reasons, but there's also
Mhm.
people that stay because that's what society, um, the government, their religion, or their mama,
All
whoever
right.
said they need to stay.
Mhm.
Right. So I think at this point, as we grow and as we evolve, we really need to do what's best for us. We really need to sit in our mess and really decide, what do we want our lives to look like? What do we believe that we deserve? And what do we feel really in it, like deep down inside, know that we are worthy of? And I believe that life is too
Right.
short to just take a short, right? I'm here to
Mhm.
live an
Sure enough.
abundant, delicious, glorious, yummy, amazing freaking life, right? Yes, life is lifing. Yes, things happen. Yes, the trials and tribulations will happen. That's a given. However, I also believe in the other flip side of that. I believe in fun. I believe in love. I believe in wild and sexy and amazing. Dot dot dot. Right. So I,
Mm-hmm.
in order to open ourselves up for that, we have to be really truthful with who we are and what we say we want. We have to be very crystal clear with what we say we want. Because I believe if we pray for it, if we prepare for it, we will manifest it and we will have it. But we have to be ready to receive it and nurture it and just enjoy it. That's what I got.
Amen. Amen. Well, family, we'll leave you with this. When you're constantly facing the challenges discussed here tonight, it's up to you to decide. Decide if you're going to do the work, if it can be done, to bring those key components of love and respect, back to the forefront of relationships. Because sometimes it's not lack of, it's just that we get careless with our loved ones and comfortable not doing our part. And it can appear that we're done, but we're really not. We just need a tune up, right? But in some situations, it's just unable to be saved. And maybe that person isn't even worth the energy anymore. And I want to be really clear and explain that. It's not the person we're saying. Every individual, has some good about them. I mean, we're all God's children, and I know it's there. Some we got to dig a little deeper to find that good, but I'm sure it's there. But
Mhm.
again, if they're not, we're not referring to the being itself. I'm referring to the actions. When I say worth it, I'm referring to those individuals who are just there to use you, to make their lives better, or the constant habitual cheaters, the liars, the naysayers, those partners that shoot down every dream that you run by them. Now, those are the kind of partners, I'm going to tell y'all from experience, that it hurts more to stay with in the end.
Mm,
And I'm going to say one more thing to that point. It gets a little easier, our younger audience, as you get older. You tend to give a little more time. In our 20s, T, Shannon, we had time to play. Was
That's
it? Who was DMX? What you really want from a nigga? We had time to play with them niggas. We don't have time at 40 to play with y'all, okay? So
That's
as you
right.
get a little
That's
older,
right.
Shannon, tomorrow, it's easy to be like, I'm out of here. This ain't for me.
Mhm.
It doesn't take long to realize, no, we're not doing this. But again, that comes with age, with time. I wish I made better choices. I did it. But hopefully, all of our experiences we shared here today can help you get on the right track before the baby's out of wedlock, the marriage for 10 years before you realize you ain't fun no more, whatever. Because
mhm,
we are all lived through it. We all been there, done that. So we're trying to save you guys from going down that road. But we can tell you, it doesn't guarantee it's successful forever, no matter what we say here. It's all about doing the work, guys, and deciding if this is the person I want to do life with, or I'm going to take another swing at it because I don't want to live my life this way,
mm,
That's right.
especially when the children are watching.
yes. Yes.
All right, baby mama. You want to take us out?
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And until next week, we look forward to everyone around the globe that listens to Wifey and Baby Mama. We really
We
appreciate
thank you.
our audience, and our format tonight was a little different, but I think it's well worth it. And our special
Absolutely.
guests, we welcome you any and every time. And if we had Nielsen ratings on podcasts, we would say you're the last time you were here, our ratings were through the
Yes.
roof. Not that's not why we invited you back, but we'd love to have you here.
Thank you.
We really do. Appreciate you for coming so
We thank you
much.
for your voice and wisdom, friend, and for your time.
I
Honestly, I appreciate
Yes.
you.
for inviting me anytime. I'm here.
All right. Okay, all. Until next week, next Thursday, we'll see you then.
Love you all. Bye.
I'm wifey, baby mama. No drama, no drama. I'm baby mama, your wifey. No drama, no drama. We're family, 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 family. Yes.
That's right.